Managing multiple clients or large websites? Automate your SEO with Ali AI. Start your free trial now.
Taylor Swift is a link builder. There were rumors that she would get engaged. Our client said, let's give them a free wedding venue. And then we got them 50 links. That's digital PR.
Wix Studio, one end-to-end web creation platform for your agency to deliver exceptional work with absolute efficiency.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming to my talk. My name's Hassan Ud-deen and I'm the Content Marketing and SEO Manager at Hack the Box. If you haven't heard of Hack the Box, we're a cybersecurity training provider with over 3 million members worldwide around the globe. And it's pretty cool. Basically, we teach people ethical hacking and defensive security. It's as fancy and fun as it sounds. In this talk, I'm going to walk you through the initial content audit I launched when I started at Hack the Box and why, despite some initial success on the SEO front, it led to some very, very hard-earned and, dare I say, heart-stabbingly painful lessons on infusing brand to improve content and content strategy. Let's get started. So, it all started with a content audit, like many interesting things in life, or with content. Maybe I just find the content audits interesting. But yeah, we started off in May. We launched the audit, and we had like 1,205 keywords on the first page of Google. So after all was said and done, flash forward to October 2023, and we more than doubled the number of keywords on the first page, about 137% increase, and a 102% increase in non-branded clicks. As you can imagine, I was pretty hyped at the time, pretty happy with the results, got a lot of feedback and all that good stuff. And yeah, things were going pretty well. I was feeling like stonks guy right here, seeing numbers going up, the feels were pretty real. And yeah, it was a happy time, let's say. I even got news of a promotion at this time, and the mic issues.
Mic issues. It's got to be low.
You had to do it when I was talking about my promotion, right? Oh, come on. Anyway, look at me, it's doing so great, getting news of a promotion. So yeah, the results we produced had something to do with the promotion. I was feeling very happy at the time, as you can imagine, and it's the closest I've come to feeling like Huel from Breaking Bad, sleeping on this pile of money. But once the dust settled, things were not so stonks. Dun dun dun. So, the traffic and SEO performance increase led to a lot of questions from different teams asking about all the stuff we were doing and what results it generated. And if you're sitting here in this audience, I'd say a lot of you are either gonna face these questions or already have faced these exact questions and feedback. And most of the constructive criticisms, you could say, I got came down to two main points. And number one was, how on earth does this support lead gen? Sales, product marketing, and all the other teams wanted to know how the content we were producing was going to help B2B sales, lead generation, enterprise account deals and closing them and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, I couldn't respond. I was like, traffic is up. I was like that cat in that meme. That was my knee-jerk reaction. And yeah, let's just say it led to some interesting conversations. At this point, it forced me to take a closer look at the content strategy. But before I go into that, there was the second main point of feedback. And like many of you, in my mind, I did my job of delivering on the traffic and SEO front. But I missed out some initial steps during the audit and in the way I prioritize things, and that's what I actually go over later. So you'll see in the coming slides. But back to the second point of feedback, and that was, hey, this stuff's old news. So when you're working in a security like, when you're working in an industry like cybersecurity, things are very fast-paced, and there's very demanding subject matter experts and professionals. And on screen here, I have like two different examples of content. And basically, our subject matter experts and professional community weren't the most interested in SEO-friendly or SEO-able topics. To the right, we have something that, for many of us, we can intuitively understand why it's valuable from an SEO and traffic perspective. How to learn hacking. It's very how-to. There's quantifiable search volume, and it kind of just makes sense, right? It's broad enough, entry-level topic. We know there's going to be traffic for it. However, that's not what they actually wanted. Something on the left is closer to what they wanted to hear more about, like current topics in the industry, things that were emerging, what was going on. And at this point, that's when it dawned on me that how fast-paced cybersecurity is. So here's the interesting thing. By the time a keyword research tool or even Google Trends could quantify any search volume, the community had already moved on to the next thing. So things are moving at a rapid pace in cybersecurity, and we basically weren't keeping up by relying on SEO tools. And yeah, this was interesting feedback to take on, so we had to rethink our strategy. So after picking up the fragments of my ego from the ground, recovering from this emotional damage that was delivered from this feedback, because we spent an entire year doing all this, right? And this was the feedback I was getting. I took a closer look at the content strategy, and then I realized that there's a point here. And ultimately, it was an unhealthy content strategy. And basically, we had too much of a focus on SEO. Shocked, gasp, telling a bunch of SEOs that there's too much focus on SEO. By that I mean that we needed to round things out and be more balanced with broader business goals. There wasn't editorial and thought leadership stuff. There wasn't sales stuff that sales could repurpose. We just had a lot of SEO, and the results proved that, but we needed to do more and do better and be more well-rounded. And at this point, yeah, it triggered me to kind of deep dive into things. Another mic issue. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind.
Just speak in.
Hello, hello. Yeah, another mic issue. Mic check. I feel like a rapper now for some reason. Okay, where was I? Yeah, okay. So we deep dived back into the brand. I took a closer look at the strategy, and we need to revamp things to be more business-oriented, as the C-suite say. This meant creating content that was able to support sales and lead gen, that was more timely with the industry, and was multi-purpose, essentially. But how were we going to do that? And there's a few struggles here that many of you also have, and that's being like one person or very small content marketing and SEO teams. The challenge a lot of the times is that you don't have a lot of resources, and then when it comes down to strategy, it's not just about doing, oh, you got a little sneak peek there. When it comes down to your strategy, it's not just about saying yes to a laundry list of topics. It's about being tactical with what you prioritize, what you ignore, what you postpone based on your marketing and sales goals for the maximum ROI. The challenge was just understanding in such a complicated industry how we pick what we talk about. And for me, that came down to basically going backwards and diving back into the brand, taking a step back from SEO tools, looking at brand, looking at product, looking at community. It started with research, speaking to these three groups within the brand, you could say, or the brand architecture, sales, product marketing, and customers. And I can appreciate me standing here and saying, hey, I spoke to a bunch of teams and it led to some insights. It's pretty vague. So in the next slides, I'm going to walk you through exactly what I asked each of these groups and kind of give you some examples of what insights it gave me. So let's get started with the sales. Okay, when speaking to sales, I wanted to learn about pain points, common objections, and prospect language. And to give you an example, I learned that many of our customers, after speaking to sales, they wanted hacking content and cybersecurity content that mimicked corporate infrastructure. A lot of hacking is like basic, and with Hack the Box, stuff was really advanced. So as an SEO and as a content person, I learned a lot about the actual technical infrastructure that people wanted to hack and the environments and all the gritty details. I wouldn't have learned that if I just relied on SEO tools themselves and didn't deep dive on the brand and speak to the sales team. Yeah, just something to help you out here. If you're wondering what questions to ask and what to propose to different teams to improve the quality of your content strategy. I've linked to like 9 questions for each group, in total 27, and you can access that on the slide share, and I'll share that on my LinkedIn shortly after this talk. So if you want to get your hands on it, feel free. It includes examples of the insights you would get and how you would apply that to your roadmap. Moving on, talking to product marketing, you want to think about your differentiation and you want to understand your product positioning and your unique benefits. One of our ones was that we were extremely advanced in terms of the topics we delivered training on, and not a lot of competitors could say that. I mean, we had a lot of industry experts create this content and they were well known. So that was a big thing, and it's not something that's obvious when you just sit on the SEO or marketing team. And finally was speaking to customers. And again, just a reminder that I see some people taking pictures. You can just get this on the slide share with the doc, with the questions on there, and just go and use it. But you want to understand decision making, why your customer is buying. You want to understand buying motivation, and you want to understand what they actually like about your brand. What do they pick? Why do they pick you? Sounds basic, and it is basic stuff, but a lot of marketers and content marketers and SEOs especially don't dive into this much detail. And it's a disadvantage. If we were competing, I'd have an edge on you. Okay, so where's the SEO part then? Like, how does that come into the picture? You've done all this research and diving in on the brand and understanding all this stuff. Okay, for us, it was this part. I'm going to take a sip of water. For us, it was using Google Search Console to filter out brand. And he's talking about brand, but filtering out brand, like, why? You'll see why. Because you've done all the pre-work beforehand. You're primed with a lot of deep, deep industry insights. And then now when you remove brand on the organic side, you're going to see stuff and be able to recognize patterns and see what's going on under the hood at a deeper level. If you're wondering how on earth you would do this at your company, don't worry, ChatGPT is your friend. Essentially, you want to come up with some branded terms, as you can see, like Hack the Box and Hack the Box product names are all filtered out. So ask ChatGPT to regex, give you some regex to filter this out, jump into Google Search Console, and you'll have a better understanding of your pure organic or non-brand performance. The power of doing all this. Taking all these insights, doing all this brand deep dive beforehand and combining that Google Search Console, it allowed us to confidently pick the cream of the crop content ideas. This leads to content that can support SEO, support lead generation, and hit multiple birds with a single stone. And I'll give you some examples coming up shortly, but it's about weaponizing the brand, right? It's about tapping into your brand and not shying away. I think a lot of times in the SEO industry and even like on the content side, it's like a dirty word. It's like, brand, there's a brand name attached to that query. We didn't do it, but why are we so scared? Tap into it, go deeper into it and use it. So I'll show you how we did that. The whole point of this is to come away with content that is differentiated and distinctive. And I've shamelessly plugged Harris Pahick's lovely little visual here. And what we mean by that is brand-aligned content that's not only conceptually unique, it's also reframed in a different way that can be more engaging to the audience. So something unique, essentially, but that's capitalizing on the brand itself and supporting it. Again, some examples coming right up here. Be ready, it's going to involve some cybersecurity terminology, and I'll prep you as much as I can. So, example number 1. The Search Optimize series, as I like to call it, to our internal stakeholders. So, CVEs stand for Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures in Cybersecurity. And it's a way of labeling different vulnerabilities in different systems. When I dived into our Google Search Console data, I recognized the word CVE. I recognized that this was a pattern. And even beforehand, the only reason why I was able to even recognize it or see that it was an actual thing was because I spoke to our sales team. And they told me that on our enterprise platform, a lot of our customers like Hack the Box because we train people on CVEs. And you can imagine real professionals, if something happened right now and there was a data leak or wherever, and there was a CVE involved, they're going to be searching for that. And also people want to read up on it too. So we went and this was a eureka moment for me, to be honest. They're like, hey, there's a lot we can do here. So we turned this into a regular series on the blog, but don't forget, there's like a product for each one. So you can see the opportunity here, and there's qualified search volume for each one. And quite often we'd come out with pieces on this before any kind of keyword research tool would even know. But we were the first to market here, and it's a regular thing on the blog now. It's tied to the product. It allows us to show the product off as well. So again, hitting multiple birds with a single stone. There's product sales, even customer success value here as well, and there's SEO infused in there too. Second example coming right up. In newsjacking, going back to point number 2 on constructive criticism was that we're not keeping up with the industry and people have moved on by the time we've come out with something. So in this example, there was a notorious hacking threat group, as they like to call it, an APT in the industry, and they came out with a malware that was quite trending at the time. Malware is basically a computer virus, you could call it that, and a hacking group wants to infect computers with it. So what did we do? We dissected it. And then not only did we do that, so we commented on current industry news. We were able to kind of show, hey, this is the malware, this is the virus, but this is how Hack the Box can also help you protect and insure against it. And had a lot of value for a lot of different teams. I know some of my slides might be a bit rough. I'm not a designer, I'm a content guy, so yeah, pardon me on them. But yeah, product loved this, growth loved this, sales loved it, and my favorite part about it was the quote you see at the top, dude, I just used this to close a deal. So yeah, that come from sales. I was pretty happy to hear that. And you're seeing here, like we're literally mapping it to our products, and we're also commenting on the industry, again, addressing the criticisms we had from the initial audit and the traffic increase. The final one for me is something I'm very passionate about right now. I'm actually hiring somebody in Hack the Box. So yeah, if you're interested in a content role, chat to me. But basically, we launched the SME program. And essentially, we opened up a whole little mini campaign to allow experts from the community to come in and share insights and quotes. Now, we filter them, we check out who they are, and it's all a manual process. But essentially, we're really tapping into the brand here. Hack the Box has a community in the millions, and they're loved by IT professionals and security professionals. So yeah, we embrace that here from the content and SEO side. There's a whole process where people can opt in, they can share quotes, they can get involved in webinars and all sorts. And from an SEO perspective, you can imagine it's backing up our credibility, probably potential backlink generation, and even EEAT benefits. Again, a big warning here is that it requires a brand to hack, but that's the whole premise of this talk. Hacking into the brand you have and not shying away. So yeah, to wrap that up, what the process looked like for us and for me was hacking brand for a stronger content strategy. Starts with actually understanding your brand and your product, deep diving into all the qualitative insights and speaking to those teams. Again, if you need help with that, check out the resource that I'll link with the slide share, and I'll share on my LinkedIn. The second step is then actually pairing it with the SEO side and your SEO data, and then using that, because the first step will prime you with an understanding of the industry. The second step will show you what people are searching for. And the third thing you get is branded content that's distinctive and differentiated, something entirely unique on the market, which is what I feel like Hack the Box is bringing out right now. So research pays dividends, especially if you take the time to get it right up front, if you're in a content marketing role. And with the way things are going with AI and all this stuff, there's a lot of copycat content, a lot of top of the funnel stuff. I think this is how you're going to have to stand out. Embrace your brand. So you can have it all. You can have content that's SEO-friendly, product-led, and even growth-friendly and sales-friendly. So don't shy away from brand. And that's the TLDR of the post. Actually embrace your brand and dive into it. yeah, and that's how we did it. That's how we leveraged this growth and leveraged our brand to deliver a 102% increase. So thank you for listening. And if you want to catch me doing some weird stuff on LinkedIn, I'll share the resources as well that I shared here. You can catch me on LinkedIn. TikTok, I've got a funny David Bloggins series where I act as if David Goggins was a content and SEO guy. Pretty weird, but yeah. And my favorite place for you to follow me on would be the Brandkenstein newsletter. I have a monthly newsletter where I talk about tapping into brand and using brand to kind of build a better marketing strategy. And I do some crazy experiments myself where I spend on PPC, and I'm trying to build an e-commerce company with the power of branded content marketing. And that's it from me. Thank you.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.